Well, so I'm very glad that we've got the two basic parts of this practice clear, I hope now, meditation and the use of the mantra. And let me remind you that you have two other resources outside of these very brief talks that we're having. One is the website, ishwaran.org, tremendous lot of material there, and the other is a series of question and answers that we gave when I was teaching this kind of meditation as a course on the Berkeley campus, and you'll be able to link to those through our website, which is metacenter.org. We'll show you that also. But as you've guessed by now, this is a pretty serious commitment, and you'll probably find, even if we don't tell you, that if you're meditating a half hour every morning, and you're saying the mantra quite a lot, your consciousness is going to change. You are going to see the world differently. You're going to see it from a deeper place. And you're going to want to do certain things that support that practice. If you just meditate and say the mantra and then just, go out and get drunk and lead a fast life and take substances and all of that stuff, you'll find it's completely counterproductive. So you need to, and you will want to, when you start feeling the effects of meditation and the mantra, you're going to want to support that. So we have actually 6 other practices that you can phase in at your own pace that will very much support your meditation. In fact, we do not recommend meditating alone without doing the others. So what are they? Slowing down, giving one-pointed attention to everything you do, training the senses, putting the welfare of other people first, spiritual companionship, and spiritual reading. They're actually pretty simple. None of these involves your inner life with the immediacy and the power that meditation does. So I think it'll be enough if I just say a bit about each of them. Slowing down is very helpful. After all, in meditation, you're trying to get your mind to slow down. Now, if you jump out of your chair and go racing off into the rest of your life, again, you're going to be pulling yourself in 2 directions. Just make an effort to do things slowly. Now, that doesn't mean physically slowly, like you're not going to walk across the street in slow motion. Your body might be moving fast. You might be jogging, but you're not letting your mind jump from one thing to the next. You're making a deliberate effort to slow down the pace of your thinking and the rate at which you are shifting from one topic to the next. So as you can see already, slowing down leads us right to one-pointed attention. In today's world, this is a very powerful tool. We now know that there are serious health compromises that come about through multitasking. And we're all being trained and asked and told we have to multitask. You actually damage your nervous system when you multitask. I don't want to go into the details, but let's stress the other side of it. You will find that you live so much more deeply, and every moment is so much richer when you can collect all your attention on that moment. So when you have a task, set yourself a time to do that task. Just do that task within reason. Phone rings, somebody comes to talk to you, maybe you want to drop the task, give that person your complete one-pointed attention. In conversation, this is immensely helpful. You'll be surprised how much you'll hear about what the other person is really saying when you give them your one-pointed attention. So as far as you can control it, like if you're reading a book and drinking coffee and listening to the radio and thinking about something else, you're splitting your mind 4 ways, and that means each of those compartments is only getting 1/4 of the power that you're capable of in your conscious life at this time in your life, at this time in your spiritual practice. This is why we often feel inadequate. This is why when people are talking to us and we're thinking about something else, they go away feeling unsatisfied. So what I do is if I'm reading and I want to have, say, some tea, reading, I'll put the book down, just do the tea, and then go back to the book. So as far as I can control it, I will do only one thing at a time. To this day, after meditating for decades, if I'm doing something that isn't totally engrossing, I will be tempted to do other things. So I'm fighting this all the time. So there are some tasks, of course, that are very mechanical, like washing the dishes or polishing your car. You can say the mantra, you can have a conversation while you're doing those things, because it's almost like your body is doing them and your mind doesn't have to think about it. But by and large, we can all get much deeper and happier and healthier by practicing one-pointed attention, and you'll be amazed how far you can go with this practice. Well, now let's move on to two practices that we might call sort of in the ethical area, and one of them is training the senses. Got to say right at the outset, this is not a set of tools for the monastic life. These tools are designed for people who are living in the world. I enjoy food, I enjoy a little wine, I enjoy a lot of things, but I'm always drawing limits. I don't want to do things just for a sense pleasure if they're going to be harmful to my body. I don't want to eat more than I need to. I don't want to, try out new taste sensations in such a way that I forget the other people who are sitting there with me. I'm trying all the time to, as we say, train my senses. I'm not trying to bottle them up or deny them, but I'm trying to train them. And it turns out that the senses, they're sort of like, the senses that animals have. They have an innate capacity to sense what's good for you and what is not. But we've loaded on so much of this stimulation in an attempt to make us happy, the senses don't function well anymore. So we're going to say no to all of that, turn off the TV, and yes, by the way, we're not just talking about physical senses like eating. From this point of view, watching an agitating program on television, going to a violent movie, that is also untraining your senses. It's making them out of control. It's going to take energy and attention away from you. It's going to make you feel unsatisfied in the end. Because as I pointed out before, the big secret is happiness does not lie outside of us. So I think that's it for sense training. Very much in your own ballpark. You're going to decide the pace at which you're going to do this. We sometimes talk about 3 tricks that are helpful here. Deferral. If something appeals to you and you're not sure it's a great thing, don't say, no, I won't do it. Don't do it. Say, let's revisit that in 15 minutes. You'll be amazed how the mind has gone somewhere else in 15 minutes. So you're taking charge. You're taking control of your mind, and you're buying freedom that way. So we move on now to putting others first. And as I said before, it's really putting others' welfare first. It's not necessarily putting their wishes first. But the fact is, in our commercial civilization, we're being conditioned all the time to think about numero uno, to think about ourselves. Now there's no problem with that, except it turns out that that makes us very unhappy. It cuts us off from other people. It gets us involved in these loops where we try to make ourselves happy in ways that don't work. Big secret. It turns out that if you forget all about that and concentrate on the happiness of other people, it's much more effective. There's a lot more to be said about all of these points, but I want to wrap us up quickly. So another one is to spend some time with people who are supportive of your spiritual path. And we have actually over 100 satsangs, as we call them, or spiritual companionship groups, scattered around the world. You can find out about them on the web. And the last point, point number 8 of the 8-point program, we're almost there, is called spiritual reading. Get the stories of mystics by mystics. Mystics meaning people who have had the supreme experience, who have got their mind completely still and have seen reality face to face. They're going to want to tell us about it. And it's amazing to see people who lived 3,000 years ago in a totally different culture having the same experiences that we've had. Thanks very much and good luck.